Hi. So instead of talking about myself and the work that I do, I'm actually going to talk about my dad and how he made me into the maker that I am today. So my dad is a book cover illustrator, and he's been doing this for the past 37 years. The first 20 years, he painted every single cover, and it would take about a month to do this. After that, he switched to Photoshop, and now he can do this in about a weekend if he needs to. Chances are, if you've been into a bookstore of any kind, you've seen one of his covers. Even if you like walk past one of those cardboard boxes with books in it on the street, you've seen his covers. And he worked from home, so we got to see everything that he worked on right there in front of us. And instead of hiring models, he actually would use us to pose for him. And this is one of the first covers that I was on. And it's kind of a dark book. But I got 20 bucks out of it, so I was fine. I didn't have a problem. And it was pretty common for him to like call us from the other side of the house and just say like, "Hey, I need to take a quick photo for this cover. Can you just like do this for me, please?" And we'd stop by, and then a few months later, we'd just appear on a book cover. This is my sister, by the way. And this was common, but it felt almost magical for us because we were kids. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know that this was like, this didn't feel real. It's just how we lived. And these are the kind of sketches that you would get from the publishers. They would say like, "Hey, I want you to make a book cover. Here, do this." And then the art director would follow it up. This is the art director. And he even has a note that says, "Call me," as if like, I need help with perspective. I don't know how to do this. And then he'd turn it into this. So it's that magic that I would see. And he could take anything and turn it into a beautiful cover. But that was just his job. And it's not what he's most passionate about. He's actually most passionate about making airplanes. And these aren't like airplanes from a kit. He actually builds them from scratch. This is what it looks like without the tissue paper on top, but it's made out of balsa wood, which is very lightweight wood. And he doesn't just build these, he actually flies them as well. And they're not RC powered like you'd expect, they're rubber band powered. And he winds them, and they'll fly for a few minutes. And this is the kind of tool that he uses to wind them. It winds 10 times faster, and the calculator actually keeps track of the count, so he doesn't have to do it in his head. And you can't buy these. You know, he knows the guy who makes them. And I can't tell you what it's like to go to an open field in Pennsylvania alone with my dad and watch him fly one of his airplanes for the first time. It's these kind of nights that I get to see him just like really shine. And he also competes. He's the 5-time grand champion. And he's the young gun at around 60 years old. And he also builds tools that help him build his airplanes. This contraption builds the canopy that covers the cockpit of the airplane. What he does is he takes a piece of plastic, puts it in our oven, and then puts it over the form of the cockpit and uses our vacuum to suction it down. And as a kid, I'm just like, okay, this is just how you make a canopy for a model airplane. Like, how else would you do it? I don't know any other way. And he's also obsessed with detail, and I got to see this, and this really rubbed off on me. How this is the front radiator of an airplane, and he uses tissue paper to make each little grate, and you can run your finger along it, and it's perfect. And he documents the process as well, and that's why I do it with my own work. This was an airplane that he was working on, and it tells the story to see this process, and it just makes the end result so much better. This plane is perfect. It's a Mitsubishi 1 MF1 Japanese Navy airplane. It weighs 12 grams. You can hold it in your hand, and it flies. It's crazy. So these airplanes don't really matter on the grand scheme of things, but they mean the world to him. And he's taught me everything I know about making and what it's really like to be passionate about something. And I'm really passionate because of my dad. Thank you.